Why is being your highest version of yourself so important? Because the version that you are right now is not experiencing your desired circumstances. So you have to leave the present identity. You have to leave the present sense of self. You have to leave the present state of consciousness behind and identify yourself with, shift in, align yourself to this highest version of yourself, right? The highest version of yourself that you can imagine, that lives the life that you right now maybe only desire of, right? That is available, but right now you're not experiencing it. So you can't expect your results to come from your present sense of self, from your present identity. So in this video, we're going to talk about how you can shift into this highest version of yourself and manifest the desired circumstances in your life right now. And I want to start this video off with a quote from myself, basically, like a quote that I came up with, and then we go into my explanations. So what I said here is this: doing things is powerful. Having things is great, but being your desired self empowers you. Being your desired self actually lifts you up, right? It basically lifts you out of the darkness. It lifts you out of the current circumstances that you are entangled in and opens up a new world, right? It's like you bringing heaven to earth, but you can't do that if you stay the same, right? You can only do that when you focus on embodying this highest version of yourself. So let's talk about how you can do this practically right now. So first of all, what we have to understand, and Neville Goddard talked about this as well, is we have to talk about the first principle. What is the first principle? The first principle is you understanding who you essentially are. The first principle is coming back to awareness, taking a step back, zooming out. It's like you zooming out of a house and you seeing all the different rooms from like a distance, so to speak, right? You're not in one room where you feel stuck. No, you zoom out of the house and you see, oh, my circumstances, what I previously was identified with, that is only one possible state. But you zoom out to your awareness and you see that, wait a second, within that awareness, there are infinite possible rooms, infinite possible states, infinite possible realities. So the problem is not if you currently feel stuck. The only problem is when you think that is final, when you don't know that, you are awareness and you are actually free to identify with a new state, to select a new reality, to select a new identity, a new state which is then expressed, right? So I am, your awareness is always present. But like I said, we sometimes overlook the fact that we can shift. We sometimes overlook the fact that we can make a new choice. It's like, imagine you are having a white canvas, a big white canvas in front of you, and you start to paint for some months, for some years, you start to paint, and you paint so much that you lose yourself in the painting. Like all you can see is the painting. You're just in the painting. You have forgotten that you're actually one painting it. So you have to take a step back and see, wait, I painted that stuff. Do I like my painting? No. Then let's throw this canvas away, so to speak, and let's paint something new, because you're the author of your life. So that your awareness is always present, right? Your ability to take a step back, to zoom out, to become aware, to disidentify with your present identity, to disidentify with your present assumptions, with your present state, is always available, right? And your circumstances always change, right? The only thing that's ever present is your awareness. You take your awareness with you wherever you go. No matter if you're right now stuck, no matter if you're right now in love, no matter if you're right now financially abundant, no matter if you're right now in poverty, if you're ill, if you're healthy, if you're lonely, if you're partnered, whatever it is, you're always aware of that. If you have not forgotten it, right? If you're not so entangled in the circumstance, but your awareness is always present. It's always with you. Right, that I am, that sense of I exist, I'm alive. And then we say I am X, Y, and Z. I am this, I am that. Right? But I am is always the foundation on which everything is based. And then the circumstances, based on what we as awareness are identified with, the circumstances always change. When we change, the circumstances change. So I want you to ask yourself this: what are you here to explore? Like, this is some deep questions that I'm about to share with you right now. These are some deep questions, but you have to really now stay with me and watch this video and ask yourself, what is your purpose? Like, why are you here? And you know it deep down. I'm sure you do. It is maybe veiled. It is maybe like there may be layers on top of it, right? You've forgotten yourself and concepts and the conditioning. But who are you? What are you here to express? What quality do you want to embody? What excites you? What do you desire? What lights you up? What sets you on fire? What sets your heart on fire? What makes you feel good? What makes you feel empowered? Right? What makes you feel relief? What makes you happy? Those are questions that are life-changing, right? It's right now time to step out of the monotone experience of life and be like, wait, is that how I want to continue to live my life? Is that who I want to be? Is that why I'm here? No, there is this highest version of yourself that you can right now think of. Connect with it, become clear of what that is right now. And that will change over the years. That will change over the months. It's not that it's, always that exact same highest version of yourself. But the question is, what right now is this highest version of yourself, right? Who right now do you desire to be? What right now excites you? What right now, lights your heart on fire? What are you here to explore? What's your theme? What's your blueprint? What makes you, right? Where are you good at? What excites you? Okay, ask yourself those type of questions. And also, right, what quality do you want to embody? Which quality of being? Let's just say there would be no symbols. Let's just say there would be no 3D experience. And you just want to experience a quality. You just want to embody a state of being. What would that be right now? Would that be the state of being absolutely loved and being happily partnered? Would that be the quality of, being free and experiencing freedom, not having to wake up at a specific time and all of that, right? So please ask yourself those questions. They will help you to gain more like direction. They will help you to gain, in a sense, like this North Star, which is your highest version of yourself, right? And then let your imagination tune into that, right? Through your imagination, tune into that. You'll notice images, moods start to arise that belong to this parallel self of yours. Because this self that you want to be does exist. That's why you desire it. That's the cool part about it, right? Your desired self exists, but it is hidden in the depths of your consciousness. It is hidden in the depths of your being. It is hidden deep inside of you, so to speak, right? Because otherwise you could not imagine or desire it. Otherwise you could not have these images that come up, these corresponding images that have to do with this desired version of yourself, which is already in existence, right? Which is already that level of consciousness is already there. So when you tune into it, of course, also images that belong to that self of yours come up, and you get them to your mind, so to speak, right? So through your imagination, practice to tune into it, investigate, learn, fish, basically go fishing in the depths of your consciousness and catch that mood, right? Catch that state. Try to ask yourself, what is that desired self? What would it feel like? What would it be like? What would it experience, right? Connect with it, basically. And as you imagine your ideal, bring into the mix the knowledge that it is possible, right? Not only that it is possible, but also that it is done. So empower yourself through the wisdom, right? Empower yourself through your own wisdom. Empower yourself through the understanding that there is not only the present version of yourself. You can elevate, you can shift to a higher level of consciousness. You can shift to this version of yourself that is experiencing life from a new perspective, through a new lens. How would that desired version of yourself see the world right now? How would this desired version of yourself feel right now? How did it experience life? And then be that. This is what we talk about in a second, right? But know it is possible. Know it is done. And investigate through your imagination. You'll start to download. Basically, you start to spiritually download. It's not that you have like an USB stick that you plug in your PC. No, it is like you spiritually download this desired self more into your present sense of self. You merge with the desired self. It's like the more you dwell in it, the more time you spend within to embody that ideal self, to see the world through the lens of your highest version of yourself, the more you fuse with it, the more natural it becomes, the more conviction you will gain, the more certain it will feel, right? And you merge with it. You become one with it. You start to literally be it by remaining in it. So remind yourself as often as you can about your desired self via dedicated imagination sessions. But also what you can use external permission slips. I will explain what that means. Right? But it's not enough to just flirt with that desired self and be like, yep, oh yeah, that would be so cool if I have this, if I could be this, if I would only be this at some time, that would be so amazing. No, your name is I am. We have to claim I am now, no matter what our senses dictate, no matter what we see in front of what the facts of life are right now. We have to boldly, within in the subjective world, in awareness, in our inner world, we have to claim we are it now. And then through us, it will be expressed and externalized into our world. Right? So you remind yourself as often as you can, right? You don't need to force yourself. But whenever you are thinking of it, then you have to make the shift to thinking from it. Remind yourself that, wait, no, I'm no longer trying to become this. I am it now. Right? And again, the best way to remind yourself, the best way to shift is, let's just say, if you have some dedicated imagination sessions where you really ask yourself, hey, so what would imply to me that I am now my desired self? What would be different? What would a friend say? How would someone look at me? Which comment would I hear from someone? What would I experience differently? What would change? And then in like 10 minutes, you give yourself time to really experience that inside of you, right? You really dwell in it, you imagine it, you hear it, you see it, you touch it, you smell it, you taste it, whatever scene you use. Keep it simple. Utilize something that you're good at, right? But basically the goal is that we dwell in that desired self, not just for a second, but repeatedly. And also what you can use is external permission slips, meaning is, why not put a vision board on your wall? Why not have something on your nightstand that reminds you? Why not have a post-it note somewhere? Your favorite book, your favorite song, whatever helps you to anchor yourself back into the desired state, that is helpful, right? So here are 2 quotes from Neville that I want to share with you on the desired self topic. Just as the moth, so imagine a moth that flies around in the darkness and it wants to go to the light. Just as the moth, in his desire to know the flame, was willing to destroy himself, so must you, in becoming a new person, be willing to die to your present self. Right? So you have to die to your present self. How do you die to your present self? By flying in the flame. What is the flame in that story? The flame is your desired self, right? Your desired level of consciousness. You have to be in it. And then your present level of consciousness will fade because you elevate it up, you shift it into, you align to, you assume to be true that you're now at this level basically, right? And you've remained there till that level becomes natural. The ideal you hope to achieve is always ready for incarnation, right? What a wonderful news is that. The ideal you hope to achieve, the highest version of yourself, which you hope to embody, which you hope to also see reflected back from the world and see in the external world, right, is always ready for incarnation, is always ready to be occupied because creation is finished. It already did exist 5 years ago. It will still exist in 5 years. It's always there. Nothing can be taken away or added to creation. It's fully finished, and we simply move through it, selecting identities, selecting states. But unless you yourself offered human parentage, meaning unless you as awareness fuse with it, see the world from it, look through the lens of your desired self, it is incapable of birth, right? It won't be expressed. Your environment, and that is something you need to remember, that is very, very important. That happened to me. It's still happening, but it happens less. You can notice it, you can spot it. This is very, very important. Please listen to this closely. Your environment, meaning people you know, friends, family members, maybe your partner, your kids, whomever it is, will project your old self onto you. Because remember the story of the inner man and the outer man, right? Externally, we are right now experiencing our present facts of life, but internally, our inner man, our inner woman, we can place that already in the wish fulfilled. Although externally, we still, for a while, experience the outer circumstances. So let's just say you did that. You just shifted within, you moved within consciousness, within yourself, you aligned to the state of the wish fulfilled. And then on the outside, you still look like the old you, right? People around you still know you as the old you. And they might project onto you your old self, right? They might ask you questions that the old self would deal with. They might tell you stuff that the old self would accept, right? So be very mindful to not identify with these old circumstances. Be very mindful to not enter this loop of listening to what they say, listening to what is happening, and then you take it on. You identify with it again. So you are basically staying in this very vicious cycle of this is happening, this is what they say, oh yeah, that's who I am, and then you get more of it, and then you just stay in this loop. No, now you decided that you're over here, that you're at this level of consciousness. Without, it might take a while till you go there over the bridge. So while without, you're still in the old circumstances, and someone asks you something, tells you something, shows you something that has to do with the old version of you, be mindful, right? And remind yourself internally, remind yourself that, wait, that's no longer me, or that's the old version of me. And it's still in a reverberant, delaying, echoing way, the old stuff is coming up. But don't let others project onto you your old identity. Now, The question is, how does your desired self respond to life? That is what you should practice more and more, right? Because your reactions are automatic. They just come from the state you're in. But you can consciously respond based on your, like, from your level of choice, right? From your desired state of being. So how would that desired self of yours respond to life? How would that desired self of yours carry through life and see the world and respond and be? Right? What would it be like to be that right now? How would you respond to old circumstances from that old state? From that new state? How would you respond to old circumstances, which are a past reflection from your old state? How would you respond to that right now from the new state? Right? So the key is see your preference, feel your preference, and be your preference. Right? Like I said in the beginning, if we go back to this quote, right? Doing things is powerful. If you do things, that's great. But doing is a result of the being level. So doing can never outperform being. The actions you take can never outperform your concept of self. It's like you try to do this, but if it's not in alignment with who you are, you'll just fall back to the old self. So doing things is powerful. It's great. It can get you so far. Having things is wonderful, but being your desired self, like I said here, that really empowers you. That really lifts you into a new life experience. Right? So the key is that you don't just adjust to what's adjusting to you. Let that sink in. Repeat that with me right now. Don't adjust to what's adjusting to you. Don't adjust yourself within to something that is adjusting to you, which is your circumstances. Don't adjust yourself to your circumstances. Right? Don't take your cue from your circumstances. They are a mirror of your state. Please understand the cycle. If you adjust to what is, you take a cue from, oh, right now I'm struggling with money. Let's just say your bank account is not that good. Oh, yeah, right now I'm struggling with money. You take your cue from something which is designed to take its cue from you. So if you do that, you say, my bank balance is not good. Yeah, I'm a financially struggling person. You take on that state from the mirror, take on that state, but the mirror takes its cue from you, and then that state will be reflected more. And then you look at it, and you reconfirm it, and you get more of it. So stop doing that. Don't adjust to what's adjusting to you. You decide what is, and you let the world simply adjust to you, to your inner state. What would it be like if your desired self is the only version of you possible? That is a powerful question that you can play with, because it helps you to burn all bridges. It basically helps you to burn all other possibilities, in a sense. It's like just like an empowering experiment. Right? So what would it be like if your desired self, that self you want to be, that self that is coming with the circumstances that you now desire in your life, just toy with it as though this would be the only version possible? And what would it be like if that would be guaranteed? How would you right now feel if that's the only version possible and it is guaranteed that you experience it? It is guaranteed that you become it. It is guaranteed that you can now be it. That this is the only version of you possible in life, in consciousness. What would that feel like right now? I find that to be super powerful, and then you can surrender to that desired self. Right? You have to basically, let me go back here. Perfect. You have to basically decide it now. Don't wait. If you wait 5 more days, you have, in a sense, like wasted 5 more days. A decision only takes place in the now. We only have the now moment to begin with. You never experienced any other moment than the now. Think about that. What you think, that happened 2 hours ago. When that happened, in the moment when, let's just say 2 hours ago you woke up, 2 hours ago you ate lunch, 2 hours ago you went out for a walk. While that happened now. You are out for the walk now. Now you're here listening to me. It is now. What happened 2 hours ago, you say that's 2 hours ago, but actually in consciousness that is still taking place. It is still in existence. You have just, like, in a sense, so smoothly, so automatically shifted to now. And then in 2 hours from now, you will eat dinner. And then that will be your now. But that 2 hours already does exist. You will just shift in it. It is all already there. Creation is finished. I know it sounds crazy, but I didn't make the rules. I didn't invent that. But if you understand it, it helps you to empower yourself so much more. It helps you to shift so much better. It helps you to really embody higher versions of yourself more smoothly. I'm not saying that there are never peaks and valleys. I'm never saying that while you shift, it's not that there might arise certain old emotions and old fears being brought to the surface. That definitely might happen. And if you need help with that, In my program, I help you to balance that. I help you to, not get sucked away from these old things that arise while you shift into a new version of yourself. But decide that you are now your desired self. That's basically my message here in this video. Surrender to the desired self as though it would be guaranteed, as though it would be the only version possible. What would that be like? How would your desired self feel right now? How would your desired self see the world? It's not about acting as if, by the way, and doing things that your desired self would do, like buying something, although you can't afford it, but your desired self would do it. No, it's more like to inwardly act the way, inwardly be it, inwardly embody it. The outer actions and the expression of that also through your actions will come naturally from that new state. You focus on embodying that. Okay? So that is how you be the highest version of yourself. Know that it exists. You can't create it. You can't force it into existence. Right? Know that it exists and become clear on it. Right? Investigate. Let your imagination wander. See which images come up. Maybe take out a notebook and write down what do you want. Right? Go through the life areas. Health, money, relationships, friendships, purpose, business. I might forgot one right now, but you know what I mean, right? The wheel of life. You can Google the wheel of life and ask yourself, what do you want? What is the desired version of myself experience in those life areas? Get clarity on it and then start to fuse with it. Then start to anchor yourself more and more in it by repetition and coming back to it. And again, if you need accountability on that, to be reminded on it, to be kept accountable, to not lose that sense of your desired self, to stay in it, to make sure that it expresses, you can join my program. That is the second link in the description. I do assume that you enjoyed this video. Please let me know in the comments what you think about this, if this helped you to be more bold and to be more empowered, and for you right now to be ready to step into this desired self. It does exist, and once you step in it, that comes with a whole new set of beliefs, of thoughts, of actions, and of course of circumstances, right? But you can't get new circumstances in your present sense of self. So you have to shift out of your current room, your current state, your current identity, and see, wait, I don't have to stay here. I desire no longer to stay here. I desire to be in this room, in this state, this identity. And then you select that. Then you shine your awareness on that. You give your attention to that. You see the world through that lens. You embody it in the here and now, right? You fuse with it. And that is how you start to be it. And then you will also on the outside get the reflection from that. Speak to you in the next one. Bye, guys.